Hey, WTMS sixth graders, this is Mr. Schaefer, your principal. Hello to you and your parents on this fine day. Welcome to orientation. I just have a short message to get to before you get to your homeroom teacher presentation. First thing I wanted to let you know, your homeroom teacher is going to talk about a lot of the COVID recommendations and changes that we have going on this year. I know that not everyone's going to love those, but here's what we want you to know. It's all about the greater good for us. At WTMS, we are united in our purpose, and we want to stay in school. We know school is important. You need to be here. We want you here. And to do that, we're all going to have to make a little bit of sacrifice, do some things that aren't easy, that may be a bit uncomfortable. But I know we can make it a good year despite those things. We won't have to do them forever. And we're just going to keep a positive attitude. And if we can stay together, we'll get through it. Speaking of homeroom, they'll talk more about the specifics of those new health safeguards and enhancements we have, about how we're going to use our agendas, and about our new one-to-one device policy, which I think you'll like having your own Chromebook to take home even, so that should be good. I want to talk a little bit about who we are as a school. So this summer we redid all of our mottos and what we stand for, and we don't want that to just be a poster on the wall. It's really who we are. It's who we want our students to be. The motto starts with the phrase "do the work," which is not just about schoolwork, but also doing the hard things in the hallways. Sometimes it's not easy to be the person who stands up to somebody who's being mean, the person who's consistently kind. And so when you do that work, when you put in the effort to do the small but important things, you are going to cambia el futuro, pardon my terrible Spanish, which means change the future, both for you, for our school, maybe for the world. So that's what we're trying to do, is through that work, change the future. Here's some of the other stuff that we did this summer. We want you to know these acronyms. I'm not going to go over them in detail. Your homeroom teachers will do that, but this is who we are. Behavioral-wise, we have a work hard, take responsibility, make positive choices, and show respect. And then in terms of what kind of students we want you to become, hashtag future ready. Okay, you gotta love those hashtags. And your teachers will talk about the BEAVERS acronym and what we want you to be as students when you leave our school, when you leave the school as sixth graders and come back. So we used to do a presentation for fifth grade, which our great counselor, Mrs. Bollinger, had helped me with. So a lot of this stuff is hers. But we know coming in as sixth graders, you may be experiencing two really big emotions. First off, fear. We're all a little like that young man right now, trying to figure out what's going on. Even in a normal year, you're switching schools to this big place, and there might be a little bit of fear. So we're going to walk you through some of the things you might be worried about. Maybe you're worried about an increased amount of homework. That you've heard that middle school is that much harder to get the grades you're after. And yeah, that may be true. And Mrs. Bollinger used to have some skits that we used to do to show people this. But really, if you work hard and you do a lot of your work in class, I don't think you'll find it terribly different than your time at your previous schools. And what else might get you a little scared? So many classes. So I know you switched a little bit at the intermediate school, and then we called it Simplot after that you switch classes. We do switch classes a bit more here. So you might think, how am I going to know where to go? Am I going to have my assignments get lost? One thing I know about sixth grade teachers, they're really good about helping you stay organized. That's why we use our agenda to keep those classes straight. So I don't think it'll be too bad, and you'll get used to it pretty fast. You've probably heard a little bit about skills, which skills is in our presentation later on as something to be excited about, but maybe you're thinking, how does it work? I'm with older kids, where am I gonna go? Skills has been the longest running part of the school forever. We're gonna fight to do all that we can to make sure it happens this year, and it's nothing to be afraid of, for sure. And locker rooms, excuse me. You heard that in PE you may have to change into a uniform. Okay, nothing to be worried about there. Okay, we'll make sure that those are comfortable spaces for you. Big kids, maybe you're feeling like as a youngster like this person here that there's going to be huge eighth graders that are going to be very intimidating. They better not be. We think of our eighth graders as mentors for you guys as you come into the school, but you don't mix too often. You will never have lunch with them. You may see them in a flex period or two, but we make sure that there's no picking on based on size in our school. And finally, locks and lockers. So your homeroom teachers will explain to you, we're going to provide you a lock this year because of some troubles with shipping that a lot of people are going through. They're not here quite yet, but they'll make sure that they teach you how to do it, show you your locker, write it down in case you forget it. Okay, don't be too stressed about your lock and lock combination. So that's some things that you might be afraid of. This is also something that Mrs. Bollinger always wanted people to know, the power of zero and why zeros in class are really powerful. And you can see some math breakdowns there. And even if you're doing super well in class and you're getting a lot of A's and B's on your assignment and you just have 1 0 for an assignment, that can really hurt you. So we just encourage you, even if it's not your very best work and you had some things going on, make sure the teacher sees that work eventually so they can get you a grade for that, okay? So maybe you're still a little afraid, not so sure about middle school, especially this year, but look at that picture. How can you be too afraid if you got that guy up there looking so happy at our school? There's another picture that hopefully will ease your fear a little bit. It's the picture of our staff because we have a really good staff. School-wide, but especially with 6th grade. Really talented, really experienced, and they're gonna be able to help you make this transition to middle school. So those are 2 reasons to be excited. Some other ones that you might wanna be excited about. Well, by the end of this little presentation, I want you to look like this young lady here when it comes to school. She is hyped, all right? Maybe tomorrow when you come to school, don't come that hyped. Take it down a notch or so, but we still want you to be hyped for sure. So what should you be hyped about? Have you seen our school? I know not all of you guys have been in here before, but it has a brand new look. Had a huge facelift over the summer. That's mostly done. We have a few things coming. That's a diagram of how the library is going to look, which is a huge change. And I think it just looks so clean and fresh in our school. And you're the first 6th grade class to come in with after this new renovation. So that gets me hyped. We have fun, interesting classes to look forward to. And there's some science experiments. Miss Foster, who you know for PE, that's one of our flex classes. We pride ourselves in engaging, interesting lessons where you get to have a lot of different electives, so it should be fun. We have a great arts program, whether it's choir, band, or the performing arts, and we also have the visual arts. We're just lucky to have a talented staff, and if your thing is getting up on stage, acting, singing, whatever it might be, this is a place for you. Maybe the place for you is more on sporting fields and courts. Well, we've got plenty of that too. As 6th graders, you don't have a chance to participate in all the school sports, but we'll get you started in some of them. And WTMS sports are really on the uptick and another great way to stay involved. 6th grade specific stuff you might look forward to. Pet Day. I don't know that we've actually had that big of a pet before, but that's a field trip that is a tradition for 6th grade, as is the Idaho Falls trip, often either to the zoo or a museum. Manners Luncheon, where you get to get waited on by your teachers and parents, which is pretty nice, and you get to dress up and work on some manners. And we also have a great talent show here. I know other schools have talent shows, and nothing against them. Ours is good and really fun, and we have a lot of fun doing that for sure. Spirit Week, or Pride Week as we call it here, is a springtime event where we compete against classes to just really demonstrate our pride in ourselves, our school, our heritage, and we have a lot of fun doing that for sure. Definitely something to get excited about. And like I said before, skills that maybe your parents and older brothers and sisters have gone to, well, now's your chance. All of these activities that are off campus, of course, that's subject to change, but like I said, we're going to make sure as best we can that those occur this year. So, and I've really taken enough of your homeroom teacher's time, but this is what I want to leave you with. It's going to be a fun, challenging, unique year. We're excited to have you here, but just remember, we may be socially distant this year, but we are still united. I look forward to meeting all of you. Have a great day. See you soon.